everyone, my name is Taelyn and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about freshman year of high school. Assuming if you're watching this, you're probably about to be a freshman, you're a rising freshman, or you're maybe a freshman halfway through the school year and you're kind of worried about everything. So if that is you, you found the right video. I've created 3 categories of the things you probably need the most advice on. So I want to start with, in my opinion, the least important part of your freshman year. The first thing that you need to know is that literally every freshman walking into that building is nervous about the same thing. I think that the biggest fear that most freshmen have is like being lonely or not having friends. I remember my first day of freshman year, I had gym first period, which sucked because then you're gonna sink the rest of the day. I remember walking in and thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have no friends. I literally know nobody in this class. I'm gonna have a horrible time and everyone's gonna make fun of me for being a loser sitting by myself. Literally walked in and this like little blonde girl like looked up and she was like, do you want to sit here? And I was like, sure. So I sat by her and we actually became really good friends and we found out we had another class together that day. So anyway, the whole point of that like spiel is that making friends is so much easier than you think. Everyone is nervous, everyone's trying to figure things out. Like, don't worry what people think of you. Like, I can assure you no one cares what you wore to school on the first day. Like, I don't even remember what I wore my first day of freshman year. Making friends is super important and all, but you also need to realize, like, this is so important. Like, you are going to lose friends. This kind of leads into my second piece of advice, so I'm gonna kind of combine them. But it's realizing that 1, you're gonna lose friends, and 2, there's gonna be drama and you should definitely stay out of it. I remember I made a friend in my freshman year and there was, oh my gosh, it was like insane. The amount of drama that was centered around me and this one friend was crazy. And me and this person aren't friends anymore, and that's okay because people grow apart all the time. I met so many people, but also like you can't be liked by everyone. As much as you want to be and as much as you try, it's like you just can't. Like, there's gonna be people that don't like you and you're not even gonna know why. I think the most exciting part about high school is meeting so many different people that you never would have like talked to before. Like, I met my good friend Isis, who like I post a lot with. I met Weston, I met Isabella. Like, there's so many people to meet and it's so fun. The most important advice I would give you in this social kind of area: stay out of drama if you can. That's my biggest regret, is that literally I was so involved in like so many different dramas within like my friends and also just like random places I shouldn't even be, and it kind of distracted me from academics. And also, like, you don't want to create unnecessary drama. It's gonna make it harder for you to make friends, so stay out of drama. And also, you don't want your business everywhere. It's like the more involved you are in drama, the more people are gonna know about you, and like, you need to keep stuff to yourself. Like, I am a chronic oversharer. I feel like my friends probably know way too much of my business. Definitely keep to yourself, because there are so many things that I've said that were meant to be private that ended up all over the place. So keep to yourself. Secondly, this is so cliche, everyone always says this, but be nice to everyone. I remember once I bumped into this girl in the hallway and it was a complete accident. Like, I'm not like, I'm gonna bump into you and shove you into a locker and give you a swirly. Like, that's not, I'm kind of quiet when it comes to school, or at least I was my freshman year. But I remember I was walking through the hallways and I accidentally hit some girl's backpack with mine. We both went like, and I remember she turned around, she was like, what was that for? And I was like, sorry, that was an accident. And I just walked off, like I speeded away, like down the hallway. And it was like a super crowded hallway, so everyone literally saw that. And then I was like, but I actually had trouble recalling that, so that's a good thing. I don't remember embarrassing things from freshman year. The third piece of advice that I would give you is join clubs, please. I consider myself involved in like a lot of clubs and a lot of like extracurriculars. I'm in HOSA, Beta Club, my school's volunteer club, which I'm not gonna say the name of, but it starts with a lady. I'm also in SWAT. I'm actually the vice president. Oh my gosh, and this year I'm becoming the vice president of HOSA. But you can join clubs like theater, you can do debate, like art club. There's a knitting club at my school. Like there's one called Coffee and Crafts. Like there are so many clubs. Like all schools probably, there's so many things you can do. Joining clubs is like a great way to make friends. Like I met so many people through HOSA, a lot of people through SWAT, like people I never even thought I would become friends with. Join as many clubs as you can or you want, but don't overdo it and don't put too much pressure on yourself. The fourth piece of advice kind of goes with the third, but I would say like try out a new sport. Or like if you played one when you were younger that you really liked, or there's just something that you've been wanting to try, like go to tryouts or go to the summer conditioning. Like there are so many opportunities for you to actually like get involved with your school and something you like. I remember my freshman year, I didn't play any sports. Well, I hadn't previously played any sports. I tried cross-country camp over the summer and I actually didn't end up liking it. So I just told them, I was like, hey, this isn't for me. And they're like, cool. So you're not tied down to something like a camp. Like you can always opt out, or you can just make it through the camp and then be like, that's not for me, and leave. Like no one cares. The fifth piece of advice is so important as well. Be yourself. I can assure you, if you be yourself, the right people who are like you will find you. I remember trying to act a certain way because of certain new friends I had made, and honestly, like you know how tiring it is to go into school and have to put on a facade every single day so that people will like you? Like it's draining. Don't sign yourself up for that. Like genuinely the worst thing you can do for yourself. Like you don't need this extra weight on yourself of trying to act like someone you're not. People like you more when you're authentic. And finally, the sixth piece of advice is to surround yourself with people who motivate you. Who you hang around is like a direct projection of who you are. And so if you're hanging around some people who are like always an STP, or like don't do their work and they don't care about anything and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna sell drugs in the bathroom, you're gonna become just like them, because who you are is who you surround yourself with. Chapter 2, which is academics, which I think personally is the most important part of your freshman year. A lot of people go into freshman year and they're like, grades aren't important. Like, it's okay. This is my first year. I'm trying to figure things out. And it's like, why? Like, don't think like that. I cannot stress enough how important your freshman year grades are. I think, in my opinion, academically, freshman year is one of the easiest years that you have in high school. And honestly, like, I can't really think of another year that'd be easier. Since freshman year is so easy academically, take advantage of it. Like, high school only gets harder, and freshman year, since it's so easy, is literally built for you to make a cushion for yourself later when things get harder to fall back on. First piece of advice is definitely always, like I just said, maintaining good grades your freshman year. Even if you don't think it's important, please just maintain good grades because your future self will thank you. The second piece of advice that I would say is take at least one AP class if you can, and if you're ready for that. Even if you think you're not, I would still try it. I took AP Gov my freshman year. And the third piece of advice is staying organized. Stay organized. I'm gonna yell it from the mountains, stay organized. My freshman year backpack, like, I don't even want to think about it. Like, I had like a bunch of binders and I started off the year strong and I was like, okay, I have a binder for every class and I have these dividers in them and I'm gonna be so freaking organized and I'm gonna have great grades. And then after the freaking first semester, I was like, ugh, and I had like two folders, like two little plastic folders with all of my work in it. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest, I did the same thing my sophomore year. Being disorganized has led me to not be able to turn in so many things, or I have to go ask for another copy of like a piece of work because I can't find it in my mess of a backpack. Like, don't do that to yourself, and also it like makes you want to be more productive when you're organized. The next piece of advice is learn to be independent now so you don't have to learn later and it be like a huge like shock, like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? I don't know how to do anything. I'm gonna be all by myself. Like, what do I do? As someone who like had like a lot, I'm so grateful for this, but growing up, I didn't really have to do much. Like, a lot of people's parents are like, you're cooking dinner tonight, or you're doing this. And my parents didn't until recently. Do I kind of wish they would have not done that? Yes, because now I had well, as soon as I got into high school, I had to learn how to do things by myself. No one else is responsible for your work other than yourself. Like, you have to realize no one is going to manage you. High school teachers are more like laid back, and they're not like on you, and they're not like, okay, hey, Taelyn, when are you turning in this paper? Hey, Taelyn, unless you're like tight with your teacher, which is rare and also sometimes is kind of weird, your teachers are not going to manage you. Definitely learn to be independent. Your teachers aren't going to force you to turn in work. Like, there are so many times I didn't turn in work and teachers just never asked, never cared. They just put that 0 in the grade book. The next piece of advice is so important. Create a really good study schedule for yourself. Like, don't be like, oh, I'll study the next day. Oh, I'll study the next day. For me, I use calendars a lot. I actually use calendars still. Even though it's summer, I don't use them always for school. I actually use a calendar for my YouTube uploads. I actually have it right here. Like, going over a paper, honestly, like reading over it, maybe that'll work for some of you, but that does not work for me. Like, reading over it once, that's not gonna work. And honestly, the best kind of study method is repeating a certain method that works best for you. Like, okay, this is really embarrassing. The way I study, personally, I like flashcards, which is normal, but my second way of studying that is my favorite is kind of weird. I like teaching what I'm learning or studying to someone else because it like reinforces it in my head. So I always like, when I was studying for HOSA regionals, I literally made my brother sit on the couch and I had like a whiteboard and I was writing and teaching him as I went. And as I was like learning, and it reinforced a lot into my head. The next piece of advice is don't procrastinate and always turn in your work. I cannot stress enough how important not procrastinating is. Like, trust me, as someone who was a chronic procrastinator their freshman year, like, do not procrastinate, please. I can recall like so many times where I've had to pull all-nighters or stay up and get like an hour of sleep because I forgot to do some of my work. Or like I put it off to the last second and then I was like, oh crap, I need to do my work. Like, don't do that because sleep is so important. You have sleep debt, you cannot make up sleep. So don't do it the week you get it. Like, get it over with. Like, you don't want to have to add additional anxiety of like, oh wait, I still have to do this work, I'll do it later. Like, whenever I think about a project that I have due soon, and like I think about how it's like how the time before it's due is just getting like smaller and smaller and smaller, like I get a bunch of anxiety and I'm like, and I'm just like stressed all that time. So like, give yourself a break and kind of do your work so you don't have to stress about it later. The third and final section of this whole video is about you and your well-being, which arguably is one of the most important parts. Take care of yourself because none of the things I said in the beginning, maintaining good grades, having good friends, trying out clubs, like doing all this stuff, isn't possible if you aren't doing well mentally or physically. So I would say maintain a good sleep routine, which is so important because I can remember all the times that I fell asleep in my 6th period because I could barely sleep. I would suggest journaling. I journal, my friend journals. I think journaling is a great way to kind of get out thoughts that you don't want to tell other people because sometimes the things I think are really embarrassing and I'm like, should I be thinking this right now? And it's like, it's okay. So just journal. You know, do your skincare, take care of yourself, like do little things at home to be like, I'm still beautiful, I'm amazing, and I'm gonna be okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about was for girls mostly. It can also be applicable to guys, but I feel like most of the people watching this are probably gonna be female. I don't know. I wanted to talk about things that you should probably have in your school bag, just in case. There are things that like, one, I've always had in my backpack, but also things that like I've realized I've needed halfway through a school day and been like, I wish I had this in my backpack. So obviously if you're a girl, the first thing you're gonna need, pads and tampons, because who wants to freaking get their period in the middle of school and not have anything to use? Like, I've been there so many times and toilet paper gets uncomfortable. And also, like, sometimes girls will come up to me and be like, do you have a tampon? And I'm like, yeah, of course I have a tampon. Even if I'm not on my period, I still always have them in there because you never know when you're gonna get it, especially if your cycles are irregular. Mine are. I'm gonna be really honest on here, I don't really care. Mine are really irregular and so I never knew when I was gonna get mine. So definitely keep pads and tampons on you at all times. Like, and if you can't get one, ask a teacher, or like ask a teacher or another girl, because I've been on my period so many times and I've had to ask like some of my teachers, like, do you have a pad? And they're like, of course I have a pad, because we're all girls, we all have to use them. Secondly, I would say always carry hand sanitizer, because like school is really gross sometimes. Like, I'm in biomed and we have like labs all the time, and like we dissected a heart and I don't want to walk out of my lab smelling like a heart, a dead one. I actually have a fake Touchland from Dollar Tree. The third thing I always have on me is a mirror. I don't know if it's like this in all schools, it's probably not, but my school took away our mirrors. Like, you can like see if there's anything on your face or anything in your teeth after lunch. Oh my gosh. In 8th grade, I used to have salad every day for lunch. I remember my friend Kathleen, we were in our last period of the day, and my friend Kathleen was like, she kept looking at me and then she was like, and she whispered, she was like, you have lettuce in between your 2 front teeth. And I was so embarrassed, and I got it out, thankfully. But always check your mouth after you eat, because I've had too many incidents where there's like food in my mouth and I didn't even know. The 5th thing I always have is like a mini lotion, because sometimes I get really disgustingly dry. The 6th thing is pretty important in my opinion, because like sometimes I find myself needing it, but bring like emergency cash. Like, you don't really think about it when you're like, what do I need in my backpack for school? But like, bring emergency cash with you. Like, I don't use cash. I only use my Apple Pay. But I do have like, sometimes I have cash. And all the cash I have literally sits and rots in my backpack. If you wear makeup, I always bring a small little bag of like mini products that I can use. Or in the morning, like while I'm doing my makeup, like I'll be like, and then I'll just throw it in my backpack. I always keep my backpack next to me when I get ready, because I don't always have minis of everything, so I just bring what I use at home. So I just bring what I use at home so that I can have it just in case, and then I just take it out when I get home, which might be a lot of work for some people, so just get minis if you can. But if you can't get minis or you don't have any, just use what you actually have. And I also bring a mini perfume. Like, they have these like little bottles, like the test sample ones, and those are really good for your backpack because they're like not prone to breaking, unlike some perfumes. Like, I've had so many perfumes explode in my backpack, so definitely get like a mini bottle if you don't want all of your perfume gone. Also, I would say bring a brush, because like sometimes my hair gets really ratty in school and I don't have a freaking brush to brush it out with, so I'm stuck looking like this all day. So this one is also for girls. It kind of goes with the very first thing I said. Underwear. Like, it's kind of awkward, but like, who cares if someone finds in your bag as long as they're clean? Whenever I have like had a period accident in school, like when I've bled through, I don't care, I'm just gonna say it. When I've bled through in school, like, it's so embarrassing, first of all, because maybe it's visible, maybe it's not, or maybe you catch on to it early and you're like, I got it, but you still bleed through a little. And I've been like so uncomfortable having to wear the same underwear that I bled through in, because I didn't bring an extra. So bring an extra pair of underwear, maybe even like an extra pair of bottoms if you can. If you have a locker, like, definitely put them in there. Definitely put them in the locker. Like, I would bring like an extra pair of shorts and underwear. That's what I would do. That basically concludes this whole video. And to anyone who's an upcoming freshman, take advantage of it. Like, I miss my freshman year every day. There's so, like, you're gonna make so many good memories your freshman year because you're meeting new people and you're going to football games for the first time. Like, it's such a great experience. Like, I loved my freshman year and I wish I could go back, but I'm also grateful for now. But all right, so to anyone watching this who's an upcoming freshman, enjoy it and take advantage of it, because I loved my freshman year, and sometimes I'm like, I wish I could go relive a day of my freshman year. But it's gonna be great, and you're gonna make so many friends, and you're gonna succeed, and you're gonna do amazing. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or it helped you out, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.